Hello and welcome to the Marching Onward podcast. On my left, joining me, I have
Jacob Estrada.
Jayden Espinoza.
Estrada.
And Moises Diaz.
So today we'll be talking a little bit on how the civil rights movement changed America and how its legacy is still shaping our lives today. I'm your host, Jayden Estrada. The first question I'll be asking today is, what comes to your mind when you hear the civil rights movement?
What comes to my mind when I hear civil rights movement is civil rights is like the right that every human has simply for existing. It transcends things like gender or race or ethnicity, that sort of thing. And I think for a lot of people, like what's like the figure that like I guess personifies that would be like Martin Luther King, that famously fought for it.
Yeah, and if you guys think about it, like many of our civil rights are taken away day by day, and it's hard to like express yourself. So like doing a movement in order to like get what you want is like something we should all be doing today.
Could you give me an example, like when they're taken away, like in today's society?
So when I was little, my grandma, she's African American, and she would tell me about her stories when she was in school, that when she was in the first grade, that they didn't allow her to go to class because of her skin color, and that affected me a lot, and it's something that we should all be fighting for now.
So the next question will be, how do you think the civil rights movement has helped us change American laws? So I'll go first. So me personally, I think it has really like made a movement on especially the African American community, because obviously before they weren't able to do much and they were just seen as slaves and on objects sometimes. So I think those laws have really humanized most of the people in the U.S. and that's what I feel like could really help, and it has really helped us.
I was watching this YouTube video where it's like how like asking the same question to black people, but in that time and this time, and they were saying that in 2016, like black people didn't have a problem with white people, but now they have a problem with it because of all the things that happened. So do you think social media like caused that, or is it something else?
If we think social media caused that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously because of the whole BLM movement, I feel like, yeah, that was a big thing on social media, and that really, I feel like, made such a big impact on it, and that's what social media has really come to today.
Do you guys think BLM was like an actual movement, or do you think it was just like for them to do whatever they want?
I was about to bring that up because BLM wasn't something that was created in 2020. It was created like in 2012, but way before what happened to George Floyd happened. So I think it became more like not necessarily like a trend, but like an outlet for people to do like you said, like whatever they want.
A lot of the riots and stuff.
I saw a lot of people who died during those riots, and it was like meaningless, like they didn't have to do all that.
I think that George Floyd, and because of the police brutality on blacks, I think it opened more of an idea to American people about the attacks on black people because of slavery, and I think that's what helped equal it out, and also the BLM movement.
Yeah, a lot of African people have died, due to the police brutality and power trips of police. So do you guys think there should be something differently done in the police force, or is it just people?
Yeah, I feel like every policeman has feels some sort of entitlement because of the titles they have. So like obviously they act the way that they act, and we've seen videos all over social media, on TikTok, YouTube. We've seen videos of the difference of how a white cop approaches a black woman, or how a white cop approaches a white woman, and there's such a big difference even today. Like the other day on TikTok, I saw a video of this lawyer. She was an African American, and she was throwing out trash in her own property, in her own law firm, and the white cop immediately thought she was just doing some illegal stuff and doing things that she shouldn't. So I feel like the police, what they can do better is possibly
Not go based off stereotypes.
yeah.
I feel like there has to be like stricter supervision, something to because there's obvious prejudice already I guess instilled in them. It's they grew up maybe thinking that whether it's parents that maybe like in their time they were, you know, advocating against blacks, but I feel like with stricter supervision, maybe like a new form of training. I don't know.
More repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more repercussions too. I feel like there's a lot. They get off with way less than they should.
I saw this video where it was like white cops kill more black cops, but white people have killed more cops than black people. And it's weird because like they're scared of like African Americans, but it's really the white people who have killed them.
I think it's because of the stereotype that a bunch of black people are gangsters, and in movies you see it especially, and it's just the most known people, like that are known for being like gangsters. But there's also a bunch of white gangs and Hispanic gangs, so I think it just gives the idea that the black people are like the ones that started it out.
There's like a lot more focus on.
They just focus directly then because I think of the color and like where they came from.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Do you guys think the civil rights movement still affects life in the U.S. today, and how so?
Yeah.
No, I mean, just like what we were saying, and I think social media is a big part of it. I think it like cherry picks a lot of bad situations or a lot of bad examples of what maybe possibly like a black man can be doing, and people take it, they like I guess get it out of context and they run with it. They go around with this idea, like I know there's like a not a trend, but like let's say there's a video of a black man like being a delinquent or he's like committing a crime, and in the comment section it would be like usual suspects, and it's kind of like playing on how majority of crimes are done by the black community or by colored people, and I feel like social media just intensifies that already bad idea that people have against blacks.
You guys think that those stereotypes are like they're not true, right? But do you think they cause African Americans to like express it or whatever?
Yeah, I guess like when they, well, I'm not African American, but when they like feel that sort of like, and they get judged like that, I guess they're like more prone to like show it basically, and like just might as well embrace it while they're doing those type of things.
I also think that with Jerry, I agree that there are a bunch of stereotypes where there's a bunch of videos and it's like one black guy on the news and immediately they go to the comment sections and it's like they just they obviously think that because they're black and they're colored, and but whenever it happens to a different race or something or a different gender, it's like they don't say as harsh stuff. I think that's why I think that even with the BLM movement, it was still like not. There still is a bunch of racism in America.
Moving on to the fourth question. How do they influence how people think about race and equality?
Okay, so when you think about civil rights movement, it's because people are, for example, I'm gonna put it as abortion. There have been a lot of civil rights movement about that, and it shows people like other mindsets, like because some people don't know about that, but it introduces new ideas to people,
So the whole idea for these movements is like, maybe I think it's understood that you can't push someone to have your exact idea or your exact mindset on things, but it's I think these movements or the initial civil rights movement might have been to build up an awareness for it. You expose the idea that okay, maybe this minority is treated less than humans, like less than what everyone else is, how everyone else is treated. So I think by having these movements, yes, I do think that more people were exposed to like they were aware that there was like maltreatment or brutality against the African American people.
Okay, moving on to the fifth question. In what ways do you see the impact of the civil rights activism in schools or colleges today?
I think that the biggest way you see it is because now everyone can go to the same school, and then that everyone can go to the same college, no matter what gender or race you are. So I think that is like what really helps, or what you can really see based off the movement.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it in school, but sometimes like kids, like the students themselves, are the ones that like separate people too.
Okay, wrapping it up. We're gonna have two final questions. Are there any leaders or events from the movement that inspire you personally? I'm gonna go ahead and answer this. I feel like Rosa Parks has really inspired me, especially because when they did the boycotting for the Montgomery bus, they boycotted it all the way that they could because of what she was protesting against. And that has inspired me to protest for things that like small things like that could obviously change someone else's life.
Yeah. So the person who inspired me the most is Martin Luther King Jr. Like he wasn't just a civil right activist, but he was also a Christian man, and that's what I want to be too. Because I mean, in this world, like a lot of people need God, you know. And I mean, yeah, like if in that short of a time he changed that many people, like I wonder how like what we could do as young people.
Yeah, especially because I mean we're so young, we still have time to do that, obviously, and we have time to find that out and find certain type of process.
I think a lot of people like they think, oh, we're too young to like do any real like advocating of like any real protest. But I think you know, the younger you start or the earlier you start, it's good to have your voice out there to say what you believe in.
Okay. Now the last question: how do you think the media or TV, music, or movies has helped spread the movement message?
I mean, it can help, but it also hinders movements.
I agree with that because I feel like it mostly depicts like, oh, they're acting like animals or like, I don't know. It's more like them.
No, that's what I was talking about earlier. How it depicts them more as a gangsters than rather than helpful. Yeah, than rather than helpful like people and upstanding citizens. So I think it does help in certain cases where it's like news about a black man that saves some.
I think like I see that point, but I also think like the inclusion of maybe not just like African Americans, but even like other like minorities, it helps bring awareness, and also like it helps build a good you know, it helps build up a good image for not just a certain minority group, but for everyone. Yeah. And I think you go back like 70 years, you wouldn't even see you know, an African American in television or anything. So I think we've come a long way, but obviously there's more room to improve.
So I feel like I haven't been on social media for that long. It's probably been 5 years, but it's felt more like 6, 7, and I feel like without it, I really wouldn't be able to see the type of things that I see today. I mean, like we were saying earlier, like you could see an African American on social media and the way they're being abused by cops or just by the society in general. And obviously, like you were saying before that, we wouldn't be able to see that, you know. Yeah. So like, I feel very grateful, honestly, to have social media and TV and those types of things to use all its outlets for that.
So yeah, like what's this in news, like in the USA, like it's always like depicted as a nice thing or something like minor, but in reality we know what's going on outside the country. For example, like in Middle Eastern areas, you see that there's a lot of bombing, there's a lot of child trafficking, sex trafficking, and it's like it happens every day, but we don't
see it.
We don't. Yeah, they don't show us that. That's what they don't want to see it.
Do you think like they push their propaganda more towards their own views, or they just show everything?
I mean, yeah, I think they show what they want us to see. They don't show us what we have to see, like, you know?
Like, to make us more aware?
Yeah, because I was looking at this. I was looking at comments from other countries, and it says that our state is like really bad, but they don't let us see us. They don't let us see that.
Mm.
I mean, obviously, yeah, like the US doesn't want us to see like. Well, I feel like they don't want us to see as much as like the things that they do wrong. You know what I mean? They want to see all the good things. They want to see like a change in the world.
Oh, like we're the best country?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up now. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Marching Onward podcast. Make sure to keep up with the next couple of episodes that are going to be coming up. And thank you. Yeah. Hello to all audio and visual listeners. I just wanted to peep back in and do a complete outro. Um, I just wanted to include that this is my US history final. Obviously, I wanted to make it look a little bit more realistic, for as if I was doing an actual podcast. I really had a lot of fun with this, and I'm obviously going to include this into my reflection as well. I am really happy how I how the outcome of this podcast and assignment episode has came out. I'm very grateful and thankful to have my cousin Jerry Estrada and my two friends, Moises Diaz and Jayden Espinoza, and my brother Jacob Estrada. As you can see, they're all have different opinions and different mindsets. I was really thankful and grateful to do this. So the sources that I use for this assignment will be included in my works cited page. I did use multiple resources, and I was able to gather my questions from there and successfully ask my partners and be able to edit. Editing this whole experience is very new to me. Obviously, I am not any sort of influencer, social media person to really know much about editing. So that's something else too that I'm like has been like a shift to me, and something that really interests me now. Like, damn, Professor Argote, like now you got me interested in editing and wanting to possibly like do something like that, like for fun, like just like might as well just silly videos, podcasts with them as well. It was really fun. One thing I did want to also reflect on was the the experience of it. Like I cut out so much laughs. Originally, the podcast episode was 30 minutes long. Um, cutting it out and cutting out all the laughs went down to like 15, 17 minutes. So truly, we laughed for around 15 minutes. Like of just anytime someone would talk, my brother would laugh, my cousin would laugh, everyone was laughing. Anything like we make funny little comments. But yeah, I am so grateful to have taken your class, Ms. Arcote, this semester. I hope this isn't bad that I include this in the end of the video. But yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Arcote, for giving me the opportunity, especially with the loss that I have gone through. I'm very thankful and blessed to have taken your class. Um, I mean, obviously, I didn't pass the first semester, but I'm going to be taking it again this summer. I start June of the 6th, I think. And I'm excited to take that as well. Even though I took the course, I just didn't do the final last semester. But thank you so much, Professor Rote. Thank you for tuning into the Marching Onward podcast. I'm very grateful for all of you guys who have listened, aka just Miss Argote. I'm very grateful that I have been able to successfully do this podcast, and I am signing out your host, Derek Estrada.